Hello.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And where are you from?
Yeah, I live in Seoul, South Korea.
Oh, yes. Okay. I have been there.
Wow, amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully today, actually, I've seen I it's been a long time since I've seen American tutor.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Why is that? Where have the tutors been from?
It's too hard to meet American tutor because almost a student and the learner want to meet and want to talk with the American tutor, but yeah, so I it's too hard to meet American tutor. Mhm.
Well, I'm glad you chose me, and in the future you can choose me anytime you want.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm from America, of course, but I'm
Yeah.
also a little bit I'm a mix. I'm a little of everything. First off, I was born
Mm-hmm.
on the east coast of America, near New
Uh-huh.
York,
Oh yeah.
in the state of Connecticut. Okay, but when I was 7 years old, my parents moved to California.
Uh-huh.
So I spent most of my younger life in California.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So what does that
interesting.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? It means okay, and I've also lived in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. People say that if you live near New York, if you live in Chicago or you live in California, you don't have much of an accent. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Yeah.
my I don't have a southern accent. I don't have a New Orleans accent.
Mm-hmm.
Those kinds of things. My American English is almost no accent, so that can
Uh-huh.
help you a little bit. Okay,
That's great.
and and I have been to much of Asia. Okay, I was married one time to a woman who was Chinese,
Uh-huh.
but from Taiwan.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I know.
so I can't speak any Asian languages,
Mm-hmm.
I have no trouble talking with Asian people and understanding Asian people.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But
And I also like Korean barbecue.
really? Yeah. Nowadays, Korean barbecue is very famous in the world. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm I'm so happy to hear that. Mhm.
Okay, so tell me about yourself. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm a housewife. My when I have free time, and I'm usually learning. I usually learn English. English.
Really?
hmm
Okay.
That's my
And how
hobby.
long? Super. And how long have you been with Cambly?
I have been practicing English for over 1 year on Cambly. So
Okay.
far, yeah.
Wow. All right. I'm surprised though you haven't seen more American tutors. Where have your tutors usually been from? From Europe or England? Where?
Uh, Actually, at the first time, I'm usually I'm usually choose American tutor, but uh, se- then from several months ago, I started to choose another country's tutor because their accent is a little bit different and sometimes
Yes.
totally different, but that's interesting to hear.
Yes, I would imagine because you sound like a serious student of English, and to have uh, Cambly gives you the opportunity to be
Mm-hmm.
exposed to different accents,
Yes.
and that will help you in your conversation. It will make it easier for you to understand English speaking people from different parts of the world.
Yeah, yeah. Before I do not understand the British accent, but now I try to listen and understand their accent, even if I try to Australian and the other Europe accent like something like kinds of Irish, Ireland Irish accent, and yeah. Mm.
Well, if you can understand all of those, you are doing very well.
Really? Yeah. Thank you. And I sometimes I met Philippines Filipino tutor. Yeah, that's great because they're try to pronounce it like American.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. And how do you use English, and how do you plan to use English? For example, are you looking to get a job with an English speaking
Mhm.
company, or maybe even teaching English? What your English is your English is already good, and I can tell it's going to get better because you're working hard with it. But
Mhm.
what do you want to do with your good English?
Um, you know, I'm a housewife.
Yeah.
I have two sons, so I want to help their English and their English subject in the future because they're very young yet. They are 4 and 6
Wow.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They're very fortunate, very lucky to
Yeah,
have
so I'm
a
trying.
mother,
Yeah.
to have a mother in Korea who can help them at a very young age to learn English. That will help them in all of their life.
Yeah, sure, sure. So, you know, our country, you know, my country do not speak English uh, in um, in my re- in my living,
Right. Of course.
in my lifetime. So we try to buy ourselves.
Yes. Well, you're doing very well. Okay. Did you teach yourself English from the beginning?
Yeah, I have studied by myself from YouTube and
Yes.
Cambly.
Okay. Well, that's very good, because you're, for somebody who has taught herself, you are doing very well,
Thank
and
you.
you have a good understanding of English, and so now the Cambly will allow you to get better and better with the conversation.
Yeah, sure. So I'm joined the on Cambly.
Yeah. And I let me tell you a little bit about my teaching style.
Mm-hmm.
I I usually will not correct you every time you make a little mistake,
Yeah,
for
sure.
two reasons. First off, it's not important. You can
Mhm.
understand me and I can understand you, right?
Yeah, sure.
So we don't need to correct every little mistake. And the goal here, our goal is to get you to speak English fluently, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
want to be
correct.
fluent. All right. Well, the word fluent comes from the word fluid. Fluid means liquid. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And for example, you know, water, milk, those are fluids. We want your English to flow out of your mouth
Mm-hmm.
like it was milk or water. We want it to just flow nonstop out of your mouth, and that's when you will be fluent. If I correct you every time, your
Yes.
English is going to sound chop, 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 chop.
Mm-mm.
Okay, and
Yeah.
we don't want to do that. So when you make a mistake, usually I'm not going to say anything. We're just going to keep going, keep
Mm-hmm.
fluid going. Then when we have a break, when there's a break in our thought, you know, then I'll say, Ellie, at the beginning you said something something something, okay, and you probably could have said it better, something something something, but
Mm-hmm.
I won't interrupt your conversation because we want to work on getting you to speak English fluently.
Yeah, fluently
Fluent.
and naturally,
Fluent.
right? Yeah, fluently.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. Yes. Okay,
Uh,
so uh, tell me more about your family and what you do, because it sounds like you say that you're a housewife. Well, that's not a small job. Being a
Mm-hmm.
housewife is a big job. So
Yes.
tell me about your family and what you do. What does a normal day look like for Ellie?
Hmm. Oh, my tell me about my. I have a big family. I have a big family. I live with my parents. I live with my parents, but now, um, my mom live with alone.
She lives alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So she lives with my family.
Okay.
She lives
Okay.
with my family, and my husband is working hard every day.
What kind of work?
Yeah, he is computer hardware engineer.
Wow.
So yeah, nowadays his job is better than other jobs. So yeah,
Yes.
that's good and great.
Yes. So that's super. Good.
Hmm.
How did you all do with the COVID? Is everybody okay?
Yeah, my family are okay, but my country's people are not okay. But mm, competition other competition other country is
Yes.
um, my country is better, not terrible than other country. Yeah.
Okay. So you're not as bad as other
Yes.
countries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Well, my guess from what I know of Korean people, okay, Korean people have discipline. Does that make sense? Do you understand that?
Discipline, disappear,
Discipline.
discipline,
Discipline. Discipline.
discipline. What does it
You
mean?
I'm gonna write it for you and then I'll
Yeah,
try and
thank you.
explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Discipline means doing the right things, and
Aha.
it often means doing what you have been told to do. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean like a bad leader telling you bad things to do. I mean, if the doctor tells you you should do something, then you usually do it. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. You don't argue and say, well, no, I want to be free to do it my own way. Korean people do things the way they're supposed to do things. Correct?
Yes,
Hello?
correct. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, does that make
Yeah,
sense?
now I can hear you. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
before
we lost
your
it for a minute.
connection, yeah, bad
Okay.
connection is appeared for a while.
Okay, so it's okay now?
Now, yeah, now now better. Now it's
Okay.
better. Mm.
So for example, when I say Korean people have discipline, it means, for example, if the doctors are telling the Korean people that they should wear a mask on their
Yeah,
face,
yeah, yeah. I know,
the
I know.
Korean people wear a mask.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
they don't argue and say, "No, I don't want to wear a mask." Okay, if they're told it's a good thing, they will do it. Okay, some other countries not the same. They don't
Mm-hmm.
have that good discipline. So I would think the Korean people would do better at working to stop the COVID than some countries.
Mm-hmm. If you do not wear your mask, you would be criminal.
Well, there you go. And that's part of it. Even if you weren't quite a criminal,
Yeah,
it makes a difference if the other people around you are sort of saying, "We all need to wear a mask. We all need to
yeah.
wear a mask."
You
And then
must
everybody
be.
wears it.
Yeah, you must be $10 to
Well, and part of that is
part.
caring about your neighbors.
Uh-huh.
Wearing a mask is not just for you. Wearing a mask is being a good neighbor to your neighbors.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Uh, now, what else was I going to say? I see that you have many little books behind you. Okay.
Yes.
Do you read English?
Yes, I can read English better than my speaking. Pretty good.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, my reading is pretty good than my speaking. My speaking
Okay.
is terrible.
No, we're doing good. And I already told you I will not correct you too much because I want you to keep talking.
Mhm.
But for me, as the teacher, it is easy to get you talking because you like to talk.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes, yes, sure. And my I read English books every day for my kids. For my kids.
All right. Well, I let me here. This is my name. Can you
Uh-huh.
read that on the screen? This is my name, my whole name.
John
Okay.
Rudian, John Run,
London.
John
London.
London. Yeah,
Yeah.
and American name is to read American name is so difficult.
I probably so. And it's because American names come from a lot of different languages
Mm-hmm.
because the American people come from a lot of different places and a lot of different languages. My
Mm-hmm.
my name, the London part, is supposed to be pronounced Lundin, and
Uh-huh.
it's a Swedish name from Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but
Yeah.
I'm giving you my name because after the lesson, or even now if you want, you can Google my name, and I'm just a little bit famous on Google. So you'll see all about me
I know
on
you
Google.
are author. You
Yeah,
have yeah. You wrote two books of you wrote two of books.
you're correct.
I
Yes,
researched you before.
you did very well. Yes.
So-
Okay. So I'm not allowed on Cambly to share things like email address. Okay.
yeah.
Personal things, we don't do that. Okay. But now you have my name. And if
Mm-hmm.
you'll search my name, okay, you will
Okay.
find you will find my website, you'll find my Twitter, you'll find my email address.
Oh wow!
Okay,
Really?
send me
Mm.
send
I'm
send me a
honored to meet you
message.
today.
No, I'm
Yeah,
enjoying
sure.
talking with you.
Why
Okay,
not?
send me a
Mhm.
message, and I will send you PDF copies of my books, and then you
Uh-huh.
can read them because, of course, they're in
Wow.
English. Okay, so I will
Yeah.
send them.
Oh, yeah. I like it. Yeah.
The one was written with the Dalai Lama. The other one was written with the indigenous peoples here in Colombia.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Do you,
good.
do you understand indigenous peoples?
Business people.
Indigenous, okay? I'm going to type again.
Business, yeah.
Indigenous.
Can you type for me?
I'm doing that. Yes.
Yeah.
Indigenous peoples. Okay. The indigenous peoples,
Aha.
they're the first people ever in the world. I mean, in that part of the world. For example, in Tibet, okay,
Tibet, yeah.
in that part of China, the first people, now they are Buddhist, but the
Mm-hmm.
first people were the Bon religion, Bon. Okay, so most every place in the world has some indigenous people. The most
Indigenous
ancient
people.
cultures, the most ancient cultures in any part of the world. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
my indigenous cultures in China and
Mm-hmm.
uh, in your part of the world, but I imagine there are indigenous cultures there too. Here in Colombia, the indigenous cultures are like the Native American Indians in America, the Apache, the Arapaho,
Mm-hmm.
the all of those. Okay, so I wrote a book with them because they wanted to send a message to the world that our Earth Mother, the Earth, was in
Mm-hmm.
trouble. And we need to change our ways or the Earth is not going to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my book. One book is called Journey to the Heart of the World,
Mm-hmm.
and the other book with the Dalai Lama is called The New Mandala. I think you would enjoy either one or both.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. But if you like to read, they're written they're written for a young adult audience. In other words,
Uh-huh.
they're kind of easy to read.
Yes.
The information in them is not for children at all. It's for adults. But the reading level is accessible for anybody.
Accessible. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. What kinds of books do you normally read?
Oh, my or most book are Aesop and the world famous storybook.
Yeah.
Aesop
Wow.
favor.
Well,
Yeah, Aesop favor.
that's you're very smart because that's a very very good way to be exposed to English. You know, those are stories that have lived on in the American and English cultures
Yes.
because those they're children's stories, but there's a lot
Yeah,
of
sure,
wisdom
sure.
in those
And
stories.
yeah,
And so the language is very good language.
yeah,
It's
they
not
give me
baby.
lesson. Yeah, good
It's
lesson.
not baby language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't
So
be
that
greedy. For example, don't be greedy.
you know that's an interesting thing. You should say that because the most valuable, the most important books
Yes. Mm-hmm.
are actually very simple.
Mm-hmm.
There is a book. I'm going to write this because you could probably find it on
Yeah.
on. You could do a search on uh, uh, the internet and find it.
You know, I think you know this Thomas and Friends.
Of course, of
Yeah,
course.
I have many books about Thomas and Friends.
The first book I learned how to read was called The Little Engine That Could.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So,
I learned how to read that when I was still in nursery school. Okay.
uh-huh.
Before first grade, I learned how to read that. And my teacher in kindergarten was very impressed. So
Uh-huh.
she had me read the book to my kindergarten class. Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I was yet less than 7 years old. And I
Mm-hmm.
was sitting in front of the class like I was the teacher, and I was reading to the other students.
Wow. My eldest son is 6 years old. He can read these books by himself.
Very good.
Mhm.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because you are a very smart woman, and you also pay attention to your children. You understand the value in teaching a young child to read at a young age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sometimes sing American songs like this. Take me out to the ball game. Take
Wow,
me
that's
out to
great.
the ground.
Do the Koreans, do they like baseball? I know a lot of Asian countries
Some people like baseball, but not all people.
understand. What's the most popular sport in Korea?
Soccer.
Same as everywhere in the world. Everywhere in the
Yeah.
world. Yes. Okay, take a look at what I just typed here.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I needed to learn, I learned in
Ah.
kindergarten.
Uh-huh.
You can find that book online, and it says they learned everything they needed to know when they were still only in kindergarten. And
Mm-hmm.
what are the things they learned? Like you should share with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I wanna help my kids good habit.
Yes, yes. And the really important things in life are not very complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
It's like when I was studying here in Colombia, I was studying with the indigenous peoples. I wanted to learn from them. And one of the first things I learned from them was
Mm-hmm.
very, we say, profound, but also very simple. One of the first
Yeah.
things I learned was if you would care for the earth, first you must care for the water.
Uh-huh.
Okay, again,
Yeah, yeah.
if you would care for the earth, first you must care for the water. Well, how simple is that? And yet it's very, very important.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think so. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree with you all about
Yeah. Okay, we're starting to run out of time, and
Yeah.
I want to tell you I would be very happy if you ask me to be your tutor again, but don't ask for me every time. Get different teachers because as you already found out when you were talking about American teachers and other teachers,
Mm-hmm.
every teacher has something that you can learn from. So and with Cambly, you can talk to teachers from all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all right. I think language is over and over is very important. So I said sometimes like this to my kids, of Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, like this, because
Oh yes,
learning language is over and over. Learning,
repetition.
yeah,
We say
yeah, yeah.
repetition.
Repetition, yeah, repetition is very important.
It is. It is. But
Hmm.
you are doing well. Your work is to improve your spoken English, and I can hear you are trying very hard, and
Mm-hmm.
it's working. It's I'm sure that if we have some more lessons together,
Yeah, yeah, I
I
will
will
try
be
do
able to
that.
see your progress.